In this module, we're going to talk about creating a task in Cherwell. A task can be thought of as a to-do item, and you're assigning it to someone else generally, or another team, or sometimes you're assigning it to someone else in your own team, or maybe to yourself, just as a gentle reminder to complete something. So we're back to our favorite incident. We're talking about that streaking printer. I want to create a task to remember to contact Dell to talk about the problem. And it's just a general issue, and I just want to use this as a way to document using task. First of all, you're going to notice that tasks are down here in the same general area as the journals. They're in the bottom portion down here of your screen. Notice they just have their own tab. So let's click on task and start looking at them. I'm going to get that double-headed arrow. Notice if I get the double-headed arrow and hold down my mouse, the bar turns to a light gray or a shaded black, and I'm just going to drag that up just so I can see a little more information. Make it a little bit bigger for easier for you to see. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on New Task. Other items that might be of interest for you, as you see, you have your VCR buttons for you to scroll through the records, or you could filter your records, or you can print. Since there's nothing in there, it's kind of hard for you to do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Task. And I think I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. And notice how if I go in between the two, I get another double-headed arrow and I can drag it over a little bit. Okay, first of all, I need to give this task a title. I'm just going to make it something simple, something easy to contact Dell Tech Support. Okay, what is the type? Is an escalation, move to production, time entry. It's a work item. So those are the 4 basic entries. What is the description? Contact Dell RE, possible printer fuser error under warranty. This is where you put enough information for the other party to understand. Again, you're not writing a dissertation, but you want enough information that other people can understand, and you're relaying the information. Okay? You want enough information, but not so much that people are reading it and going, "What?" And they get lost in the message. I cannot tell you how many times I've been reading something from someone and they wrote 5 paragraphs when they could have gotten away with 3 sentences. So again, provide all the information you need to, but don't overwhelm people. Okay? Again, provide the necessary information, but don't overclutter it. I'll scroll over. Is this task due at a future date and time? Starting right up here at the top. Is there a specific date and time that this is due? If so, you would check that and you would choose a calendar right here and you would do that. Do we need to track time spent? Is this where we're starting to do like project management and we need to track how much time is spent working on this particular task? Okay, and when we're starting to talk about close codes, that's when we're working on closing it. We're not talking about closing it right now, we're just creating it, so we're not going to worry too much. And the completion details, again, how did we close it? That will come in just a moment when we're talking about closing it. So let's take a look at some of this information a little closer. So if I do click on task is for future date and time, notice how I said it would look up. And so you do see a calendar, and notice it looks just like any other calendar. You can scroll through there. Maybe I want this done by July 6th. Okay, now let's be honest. If we're talking about a printer in the student center, having the person contact Dell by July 6th makes no sense. But perhaps we're talking about some kind of project management, or where we know that this is a subtask, where I know that one task needs to be completed before this task. I'm going to remove that. And let's go back over to the left. What team needs to complete this? Okay. What team? So it's not assigned by, or it's not owned by a team. So in other words, it'll default to campus-wide printing, which is legitimately, that's where it's going to go to, but you could assign it to any other team. Do you want to assign it to a specific person? You can do that. When you take ownership of it, do you want to, so you can take ownership. Do you want to add it to your personal Outlook calendar? Remember how I was talking about how you could have subtask? So is it an upstream task or a downstream task? So think about it. Is this the primary task or is this the subtask? So this is how you're linking your task between these two options here. Okay, so we're looking at it that way. So what I'm going to do is, let's undo that. I am going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to assign this team. So you get a listing of all the teams here in Cherwell. I'll scroll through this listing. I'm not going to read all these teams out. That's way too many teams for me to read. Just scroll through them. When you get into Cherwell, you can look at the extensive listing. I'll go slow just for a second so you can see them. And I'm going for campus-wide printing just so you can see that I can choose if I want to. And I click OK. And so you now notice it's owned by Campus-Wide Printing Services. Then I hit save. And if I go to my dashboard, this task will now show up on my manager's dashboard. So I'm now in my dashboard, and you can now see that this task is here. Okay, so notice how the title is there in the description. And you can see how I gave my title is slightly different than the description. And I kind of do that a little differently. So that way, when I'm looking at it in here, I get a little more detail. So over here, I see who am I contacting, and over here, I see why. That's just my personal preference. It gives me a little bit, and the readers a little more information. I find that's very beneficial, so that way people can see and they gain a better understanding. So that way when they're looking through a listing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take claim to this task and show you what I can do. And we'll notice how the colors change, because notice how it's red right now and it says new. I just double clicked on it. I could take ownership right here, or I could select owner right here. I'm going to have fun and click take ownership. Let's see if that's a little faster. Take ownership. It filled all my information in. I'm going to go ahead and go up here and click on save, so that way we can go back to the dashboard and see what it does. And now when I'm on the dashboard, notice what it did. The color changed. And also notice owned by is filled in. Let's go back to this. What I want to do is, let's say that I've contacted Dell. And ordered new fuser under warranty, express shipping, part due here tomorrow. Then I'm going to click on completed. If I do that, that's not going to let the person who assigned the task to me know that it's done. What I have to do is I have to click on acknowledged, and I have to, just like you're closing a ticket, you have to follow the steps up here. Notice how I'm going through them. And finally, click close. This is how all the communication gets done. So here's what happens is after you hit the close button, Shareable is going to pop up and it say, here's the information, and you need to let the person who created the ticket know that it's completed. It pre-populates it. It says the task is complete, and it puts the information that the person typed in. So you notice where I put contacted Dell, ordered new fuser under warranty, express shipping, part due tomorrow. That's all the information I typed in there. So all I have to do is just click send. That is all you have to do at this point. So hit send. And as soon as you do that, notice this task is officially closed. That is the process. Remember, you have to keep clicking up here. You have to go through acknowledged and such. That is how you assign a task, how you work on a task, and how you close a task in Cherwell in the Blue client.